there! Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise
and Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
And we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
Hey, here.
What is up?
How's it going? I feel like we haven't been here in a long time.
You know, it has been a hot minute because we did last week I was sick.
Yeah.
And then we did our Neo show episodes, a couple of those episodes, and again there was like a sick thing, so I was I was recording at my house. And
yes, we did. We did remote. The weather was kind of
that's what it was. The weather. We did remote.
Wow.
And so I think it's been about a month since we've actually been together to record something.
I think it's about time that we got here. Yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So hi. How are you?
We hope you're doing great.
We're good. We're very busy, but it's good.
It has been really,
really
busy. A lot of illnesses. I feel like my house has been everybody's kind of been like, as one goes up, another one goes down, and so I'm hoping we're past all this.
Yeah.
My goal is just to get it through spring break, which is next week.
Fingers crossed, right?
Get through that. We're going out of town.
I think we have also gotten through all of our illnesses. I had COVID and the flu at the same time.
Yeah.
I just laid on the couch and cried.
I was honestly surprised I didn't catch it from you.
Me
because
too.
You got tested the day after I left your house. Yeah.
Yep. Because it was like you were here, and then the day after I was like, man, I really don't feel good, and I just declined so fast that whole day. By the evening, I was like, I'm sick.
Yeah.
COVID and the flu.
Yeah, it's been
We're
rough.
done being sick.
But during all that time, we did read some books, a lot of books. Probably too many.
Probably, because I will tell you, I'm gonna struggle a little bit. I'm glad Denise has notes. I'm gonna struggle a little bit because I have read Denise, but several books in between the one we're gonna talk about today and now. It's been at least a month since I've read this book and several stories, and I keep squishing them together, especially the Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
I keep being like, wait, was it this person wasn't in that book?
No.
They did this thing in that other book?
Yeah.
They weren't even born yet?
So I always I wait till the last week of the month when I know we're going to record an episode, and I wait till that week to listen.
I should start doing that.
So that's whenever people be in like the middle of the month, be like, have you read it? I'm like, nope. I need to wait till the end of the month because I will forget it.
Yeah.
Which is good because like I listened to that one at the end of February, and since then I have listened to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on my 6th book, and so this is like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like, how am I supposed to remember?
But that's all right. So we are going to be talking about we are going to be talking
about a pumpkin.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Star Wars Legend books, Darth Maul, Shadowhunter. So while I was doing research for this book, I learned it is actually part of a trilogy. And
I just found this out a couple minutes ago.
You don't have to read the first book to get to the number 2 book. The first book is called Cloak of Deception. So the 3 books is Cloak of Deception, Darth Maul, Shadowhunter, and then the 3rd one is Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the 3 books lead up to a Phantom Menace. So I, being who I am, was like, I'm gonna read them all because I can't just do one. Oh. So I learned that I sometimes struggle with legends. Just because I've gotten so immersed into the current Disney canon that I like the storytelling in the canon, and I like the complexity of certain characters, and I like how things are handled in canon as opposed to some of the stuff in legend.
Okay.
So,
Can you give me an example? Give us an example.
yes, it's going to
Okay.
be one of our talking points tonight,
Oh, okay.
and I will make a reference. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So when I read the Book of Deception, you guys, struggled. It is a very politically driven book because it's all about how the Neimoidians, the Trade Federation, becomes part of the Galactic Senate.
Okay.
So it is all of that.
What the whole book
It is
about.
all
The
about
whole
that, and it is all about Palpatine kind of
book.
putting
It's chess pieces.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I would enjoy that. Like, I like, and we were just talking about this before we hit record, but Star Wars has always been political. There's been politics. That is what Star Wars is based on. Galactic politics. However, I really enjoy Star Wars because it's a good balance of politics, intrigue, mystery, like shoot 'em up, space battles, and like it merges together to make it not be like, oh man, I'm really tired of
that
just
is
listening
not
to
the Cloak of Deception.
Okay, I think that's it.
You can, because you don't really have to read it to read this book.
Okay.
And that was just another one to add to my 85 goal book for the year.
Oh, sure.
And I'm 3 books ahead already, so I'm like,
Nice.
Anyway, so that leaves us to Darth Maul. Shadow.
Oh wait, did you read Phantom Menace after you got done with this one?
Yes, I did.
How was that one? Like compared to the movie, like did you like the book?
I really enjoyed the book. I think I think the reason why I enjoy the book is I love the movie also.
Yeah.
It is very, I feel like the novelizations of the movies are very like pretty on point with everything.
Okay.
There's a few extra scenes that are in there. I did a TikTok about it, and I really liked how they started the book, because in the book it starts off with Anakin in a pod race. So we get two pod races by Anakin, and he of course crashes in this first one.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gives you more of the backstory about pod racing and get more of that experience. But I get in the movie that they start zooming in space because that's what they did with the original, and they kind of keep with that tradition.
Yeah. Okay. File that away. I'll go ahead and read it.
Yeah. We do get a little bit more of. There was a really good scene, and it's floated around the internet that was cut from the movie, and it's also in the book, and I really wish they would have kept it. And it was Qui-Gon with Anakin, and a kid was like picking on him, and Anakin goes to fight him, and Qui-Gon stops, and he's like, what good does that do? Like, what are you going to gain from fighting this kid? And we learned obviously nothing, but it was kind of a shift and showed how Qui-Gon like taught people and kind of solidified more of that like fatherly figure that Anakin kind of looked at Qui-Gon as. And they didn't have it in the movie, so you don't get that connection nearly as much.
In the movies, it's so fast. Okay.
And so
acquire the kid, leave, go, train, fight. Whoops, Qui-Gon's dead.
So we get more of these like interactions between Qui-Gon and Anakin, where you see that connection being built.
That's cool.
And you also get the sense of like Obi-Wan, he's a rule follower. He's like, why are we doing this? Like, there obviously is some kind of like resistance because of his age and from the Senate, not the Senate,
the council.
There we go.
Yeah.
That scene is longer in the book too. The council.
More of that discussion about why they don't want Anakin and why it's like, we listen to them. Like,
and it's been a while since I've watched the movie, so I couldn't remember if the movie was like this, where like Yoda does agree to train him, but Yoda actually didn't want to.
Right. He seems also like there's a lot of fear in this kid. Like, this is not going to be good. But that scene is pretty short in the movie.
Yeah, and so in the book, it goes more into why he like agreed to it, despite not wanting to do it. So, and then you got Mace in there, and that whole thing was just a little bit different. I wish some of that was in there, but a movie can only be so long.
Right. Yeah. You can
And
only put so much stuff.
Stuff's gonna get cut because they also got to look at how does it flow with everything that's going on, and that might have been that whole conversation with Yoda might have been a little bit more like disconnected because Anakin is the chosen one, and they need to
Right.
kind of keep up with that.
Like, this is the course that they have set for the movie. We only have a couple hours. Like, we don't have a book where we can write like infinite words and add infinite pages, right? Like,
yeah. And then you learn that because of everything that happened on Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul and surviving, that's why he got his knighthood.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we learn about him becoming a Jedi Knight, and he became a Jedi Knight because he survived Darth Maul and defeated Darth Maul.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will say, reading this book, Darth Maul, kind of explains more of like his emotions and how he kind of felt. So yeah, we see how he viewed Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in that book as like worthy adversaries.
Right.
And
They
he enjoyed
actually,
it.
yeah.
He enjoyed it. So
Because we do see that, like, he thinks all of these petty little things he's doing are just, he has better things to do. He is above this. He's better than this stuff. He is better than these people that he's fighting. He's just better. Like, he views himself as just better.
And that was 100% his like MO this entire book of Darth Maul, because
I'm better than this. Why do you have me on this stupid errand?
Sidious sent him to go get this Neimoidian that like fled during these like talks to eventually do the blockade, because we know Sidious and Palpatine are puppeteers.
Yep.
And they're Palpatine was the one that essentially got the Neimoidians into the Trade Federation into the Senate. They weren't there before. Like, it was a very recent. They were not part of the Senate.
Okay. I mean, that tracks. I didn't realize that, but that tracks.
And there's a lot of things that went on with taxation. They wanted to tax them, and that's what led to the blockade and the boo.
Mm-hmm.
And so while this was all getting set up, one of their guys disappears. And Palpatine obviously can't be involved because he has a persona. So he sends Maul to go and get
He's the errand boy.
the traitor that flees.
This isn't necessarily the traitor that's on
No.
screen. This is just an example of an Neimoidian.
They talk about Neimoidians all the time, and I always want to think a humanoid, and I always forget that they look like that.
These guys.
But, yep.
Yep. I thought it'd be helpful to show a picture up on screen. I'm not trying to dig up a picture of like the actual dude, but there we go. Neimoidian.
Yeah.
He's on the run. That guy on the run from Darth Maul. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Maul is just like, wasting my time, my talents.
He's like, I am so much more worthy than this. Like, I am a trained Sith. I have these powers, these deep, dark thoughts. Like, this is not what I
Sam Witwer narrating this book almost killed me so many times.
I'm telling you, between him and Mark Thompson, I have an unhealthy crush on Mark Thompson. I follow him, the book narrator.
No, he's one of the best Star Wars narrators out there.
Yes.
Hey, Mark, if you ever hear this, because he is always one that, like, if I see him show up on the narrator for an audiobook, I mean, I'm like,
No, I mean, like, I follow his Instagram and
oh,
everything. Such a big nerd. He also does voice characters too for like Pokemon.
That's cool. I like it. we can't link his Instagram to this.
He's such a good ball. Okay, anyway. But so this was very interesting, and we also learned in this book that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were not the first Jedi to encounter Darth Maul.
Right.
No.
That was a big word I won't say, but that was a big
Yeah. Which was interesting. And as soon as side story, there's a Padawan in this book Padawan Sarsha, who was going out on her final mission to become a Jedi. All she had to do was go retrieve this Nymodian and bring him back to the temple.
Yep.
She failed so bad.
So bad that she was like, I can't go back.
Yeah. So they
I can never return.
They essentially, a lot of people kind of were going towards this Nymodian. We also had this smuggler that thought there was a Jedi holocron, but it ended up being a Sith holocron to get the information that I think the Nymodian had. I don't know. They were all tied.
I don't remember.
I get kind of confused. Like I said, I was listening to a lot. But she was trying to retrieve this, and she was using her force powers to escape with them, and kind of all hell broke loose, and there was an explosion. She thought he died, and she failed.
Yep.
And thought she was never going to become a Jedi because of it. Yep. Because that was literally all she had to do was go bring him back.
Last mission, you pass, you're knighted. No.
She felt okay. So
this, I feel like I remember, unless it was just in one of the other books, like her master having a pretty big heart to hurt with her, being like, "Wait, just try again."
Yes, yeah. So,
was that this book?
No, he did. She did talk to him about it. She was like, "I did fail," and that's where he was like, "Well, did you feel the life force get tethered?" And she's like, "No." Then he's like, "Well, let's go find him."
Yep.
But this is where we're coming to that point where I enjoy this new canon more than the legends.
Okay, I wanted an
and
example.
This is one of the prime examples. And we are going to reference High Republic in this conversation here. So this Padawan had such like remorse and regret and such fear of going back to the temple when failing this mission, because everything with in the old legends, it was always like you cut, and she repeats this a lot. No passion, no emotion, like the tenets that they repeat over and the tenets stayed the same in canon, and they were carried over into the new canon. But she just had this such like fear of disappointing them and this letdown, and she was just afraid to talk to anybody. Where
and
I feel
amount of fear, like that is one of the big tenets of the Jedi teach against, is like you can't fall victim to that kind of mind-numbing, encumbering fear, and that's what's happening.
And she had this doubt, but that's where. So in the original, the legends is always like they cut off all the emotion. You can't do this. It has to be this way. But in the new canon, I feel like, especially in the High Republic, the Jedi are more open and more communicative with their masters and their peers, and talking about kind of some of their like worries or insecurities. Well, what this happened? What about this?
Right.
Like they're more
accepting, I think, of their emotions and their feelings, instead of just push them away, block them away. We don't have them. And they embrace them, but they learn how to make them not become selfish.
I was going to say, and another thing, when we read Padawan about Obi-Wan, they talked about this a lot. It was about, because they're like, you can't have these emotions because you don't want it to. It's not about letting your emotions lead you. It's about having control of that emotion so it doesn't make you like react rash. You're composed.
You can't be irrational. You have to be logical.
Yeah.
You have to keep in mind the greater good. Like you can't let your emotions make yourself.
Yeah, and so
that was kind of a takeaway that I pulled away from one of the most recent books with that I read with Ezra. I want to say it was Tears, maybe, or maybe it was Temptation. You know?
Oh, Temptations of the. Oh,
but how they were just like, we can't let this make us become selfish, but our love and our feelings and our care can make us better. Stronger.
Yeah. I'm terrified for the last 3 books of that phase.
Yeah, I'm caught up now, and I'm just like.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I like about the new Star Wars, is there's a lot more like open communication about things and working through things rather than just cutting
cut
it
it
all
off. You're not allowed to have any emotions. Like, no.
It's not healthy. And
Right.
how can you be a good, strong Jedi when you
You don't care
can't
about it.
have any of that compassion or emotion? Like, and we talk about this a lot. And so that was, I think, my main issue with the Padawan. I did not like the Padawan in this.
Yeah.
Because it was so driven to
cut everything off, and if I don't cut everything off, then I can't be a Jedi.
Yeah.
And,
It was
like,
really hard.
yeah, that's not what we have come to know the Jedi
Yeah.
as, and I think it does make it difficult to accept that would ever be a thing. Like, why would you be worried about this? Because of course they wouldn't cut you off. They will try again.
Yeah.
Try again.
And so it was just very interesting to see. And I think towards the end of the book, I think she maybe realized that. But unfortunately, she did eventually get caught by Maul and got unalived.
Yep.
And
so because of that, like, because her master was also unalived, there's nobody left now that has encountered Maul that knows about him. So, boom, Maul's a freaking secret again.
Yeah.
Big, bad, scary, terrible secret.
But I really did enjoy learning more about Maul in this book.
Yeah.
Just because when Maul came out with the Phantom Menace, we didn't really know much. We didn't really. He kind of just showed up, and then got sliced in half, and then was gone.
Yep. And it was like, okay, that was a whirlwind of
nothing.
Why did that happen?
So with this book, we definitely learned. And this is where sometimes I gotta remind, this is not canon. This is legends. This is. We learn he has a lot of pride in what he does.
Yes.
He is very prideful. He is very skilled. He's very smart. Despite failing his mission also.
Right. Because he also failed and then had to go back and tell Sidious. He was not pleased. I would not want to go up to freaking Palpy and be like, hey, I fluffed up. Please don't cut off anything.
Because initially he was supposed to go get the holocron or the Nimodian, and then he failed with her, and then he's like, you need to go back because we need to have this go forward so we can set up the blockade against Naboo, which is crazy, you know.
Because all of this is happening, like you said, it's like right before freaking Phantom Menace, and then we have all of those events with the Trade Federation, the taxes, the blockades, which leads into the war.
Sometimes I think we are, but we don't have any of the cool like aliens or spaceships
or the cars or
ability to just
pod racers
fly away.
I know.
I want to just fly away. I would know. I don't want to fly away. You know what I want from Star Wars? I want a Bacta tank so I can go in and let my shoulder.
Oh.
I'm tired of living in like chronic pain.
Dude, today I could use one for my freaking neck. Like, I haven't gone anywhere because I'm afraid to try to drive. Like, I can't do this. That's as far as I can turn my neck.
I just want my shoulders.
I can't look down. It's like I can't look in my mirror. Like,
that's what I want. I want.
Yeah.
Just
back to tank.
Soak it in for like 10 minutes. Like
have everything be fixed. Yeah. I think I'm with you on that. Back to tank. I want a pod racer. I have a pod racer and a back to tank. Like, I'm fine.
Ooh, talking about pod racing, we're gonna have some fun. It's gonna be weird, but there's gonna be some fun pod racing trivia in our Creatures episodes that are coming up.
I'm so excited. You know, we should wrap up the book.
Okay.
Wrap up the book.
So yeah, it was very interesting. There was a lot of things that I went back and forth with this book. The smuggler. So we have the smuggler who was a broker that would essentially gather information and sell it off to the highest bidder.
Right.
In this book, it was a gentleman named
with an L.
Lauren Pavin, and he ended up working with the Jedi, the Padawan, and he had a very complicated relationship with Jedi. He despised the Jedi, and we learned that was because his and his wife's child ended up having Force powers and abilities. He actually worked at the Jedi Temple as a civilian employee, and so they recruited his kid.
Yep.
And then they fired him.
Yeah.
They
So,
wouldn't
like-
have any. The kid wouldn't have any attachment.
Yep.
So he didn't like him. But then he started having feelings for the Jedi.
Padawan.
Padawan.
For the Padawan.
And
Who was not a child. I
No,
know we had
she-
this discussion too. We both think about Padawans as being kids. But I didn't realize this. You said Padawans could be up to 22?
yeah. Most Padawans take their Jedi trials between the ages of like 18 to 22.
Okay.
So like when I looked
So,
up her age, she
yeah.
was 19.
Okay.
So she's an adult.
Yeah.
But
It weirded me out until we had that discussion today.
yeah, it weirded me out because she knew of his son.
Yeah.
She remembered him coming in and somebody getting fired.
Yep.
When she was a youngling, around like 8 or 9. So like that kind of maps out with this timeline. But it's so we always associate Padawans with kids.
Mm-hmm. So they're talking about the smuggler like having feelings for the Padawan. I was like, wait, I don't
But
want
even-
Star Wars to go down this road.
But even like if reading the High Republic, most of the Padawans are about 14 to 16,
Right.
and they don't really have any that are between that 18 to 22.
Mm-mm.
And then we had, because even like Reaves, he was 17 or 18 when he became.
He was
a Jedi.
older. Yeah.
A little bit older. He was 17 or 18 when he became a Jedi, but he is part of that like young adult.
Right. Yeah. So we really don't have any.
Except we see Obi-Wan, but we didn't know.
It makes
Obi-
sense. Like we only see kids as Padawans. But,
So that's where your mind goes. And one of the most famous Padawans is Ahsoka, and
we started.
she was a whiny preteen.
Figure out of it. But yeah.
I know. I don't need your lecture right now.
I'm winding up. Like you want it.
I know.
Speaking of Clone Wars, I finally started watching the old.
Micro series.
Is it?
It's like a micro series, yeah, that's the anime.
There's yeah.
Yeah.
The art is really cool.
Yep. It's so good.
And I love it. Mace is a
Right?
holy wow. He's a
The Clone Wars cartoons, the Clone
it's
War
so good.
by Dave Filoni does not do Mace justice as opposed to that miniseries.
This is amazing.
Yes, and even like because he takes like General Grievous on. Have you got to that part yet? Where he fights Grievous?
Like
Oh, it's a very memorable like fight. You might not be there
I
yet.
don't know if I've seen Mace. I've seen Grievous fight. Now I can't remember. We've only watched like the
Okay.
first chunk of
Yeah.
it.
He like I believe they fight at one point, and it's just like
that's cool. Man, Asajj's first. Okay, I want to
Yeah.
do an episode. I want to do episodes on these, and I kind of want to write them.
yeah.
Clone Wars
Okay.
is like my baby.
But the micro series is so
I'm
great.
loving it. So Eric found it chopped up because I didn't have time to sit down and watch it all together. So all together was like 4 hours.
4 hours?
4 hours. But we found it and we were able to start watching it in like 40-minute chunks. So there's like 4 or 5 40-minute chunks. So we watched the first one. It's so good.
I'm so mad. I used to have the DVDs,
Oh, nice.
and then I don't know where they went. They're gone.
Nice.
I wish I would have kept some of that old Star Wars stuff.
I borrowed them from you if you still have them.
Who owns DVDs?
We still have a few.
We have a few also.
I have my like special ones that are like. I have my metal edition of Boondock Saints up there.
I'm gonna date us.
All right, do it.
Matt has his binder of DVDs from DVDs that he used to get from Blockbuster when we both worked at Blockbuster. Yeah, what are
I'm
those?
gonna date us too. Look what I have.
Oh yeah, we still have our CD. We got all our mixed CDs.
Yep.
Too. Yep.
That's what this is. Look at all these freaking burned CDs.
Yep. Yeah.
Like there's a Cross Canadian Ragweed sticker in there. Stone LaRue.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a feather in here. So Nova destroyed some feather pillows when she was a puppy, and they got wrapped up in these CD cases. And for like years, I would run across feathers from those feather pillows.
Funny story. That's how we got Owen to watch Napoleon Dynamite as we pulled out our DVD.
No kid.
Because there's so many movies from like the early 2000s that are not on any streaming platforms. And so we found it, the DVD, and Owen loved it.
This is the fun one.
Oh my gosh.
This is the music. All the band stickers from all the live shows I've been to.
Wow.
You're
Oh my
like,
god.
I
We
saw them live.
one of the songs at our wedding was Reliant K. The one that I believe it was when we walked. No, that was Hello Goodbye.
Hoku. Do you remember Hoku?
I remember Hoku. This makes me so happy.
Oh,
Okay. Hey, so
Right
Trevor
next to Green Day.
from O-Town went to my high school. Yep.
Weird.
For making the band, Trevor. I said
Yeah.
he actually came to my high school a few times. Him with a few of the
No
other
doubt.
guys. Okay. I thought
Like,
them
No Doubt's first,
They are
first
so
ska
good.
album.
OMG.
What's that? Andy Tucker. Oh, the Lost Boys soundtrack. Dina, I own the soundtrack.
Is that the one movie you guys keep talking about?
I'm so done with you. And see, this was like one of my very first DVDs ever. You guys remember this disc? Look at that.
Oh my god.
Another one.
Yeah.
Oh, a Walmart photo disc.
Ooh, I want one.
Me too. Puddle of Mud.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is my year disc from one of my years in college. I built this year disc.
Oh.
Danzig. Sarah McLachlan probably got the sad one on it. Grease 2, yellow card.
Reaves 2?
I love Grease 2. Oh my god, it is one of my favorite musicals ever.
Wow. Gosh, man, it was a different.
You remember that song? You ever seen Grease 2?
Once.
Oh, okay, we should watch it again. The
Once.
music is so much fun. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it.
Once. And then I was like, wow. That's bad.
That was a fun trip down memory lane. So anyway,
I don't even remember what we were talking about when it came to Darth Maul. And this
Reaves
book.
had to go back and tell Studios that he failed, and Studios sent him
Yeah.
off on another mission to go work with the Neimoidians.
Yeah,
Did I just make that up?
because if you remember in the Attack of the Phantom Menace,
Yes.
at one point they were having a meeting with the Neimoidians, and Maul was sitting behind Palpatine, and they're like, "Oh no, now there's two of them.
Yes.
This isn't what I signed up for.
I do remember that.
Didn't sign up for this."
I liked the book. I really enjoyed Sam narrating it.
I think it really helps when the narrator gets into the book.
I mean, he is the character. So,
Yeah.
like, it's told from Maul's freaking point of view, and it's Sam narrating. So, like, it was very immersive.
I did enjoy. Maul was just so when Maul finally, so he did fight the Padawan's master. He also did fight the Padawan. He was like taunting us at one point, like kind of was like, "Oh, these guys are my level," so he's like, "Let's just see what this does." Like he kind of like toyed with it. He thought very lowly.
Yeah. Because they
Of
were
the
not worth his
Padawan?
time, basically.
Yeah, he was like, "These people can't fight like me. Like they're not nearly as good as me." And so he just was like, because I remember him going, "Oh, I'm surprised the Padawan lasted as long as she did."
Right. Yeah. Because going back to, like, he considered Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, like, worthy adversaries. Because they actually were, like, very skilled and very talented.
Yeah.
But, like, the other two, they were just a diversion for him. They were
They were just in the
I'm
past.
kind of bored. I'm gonna
I just-
play with these guys till they're dead.
It's like flicking a bug off.
Right. Oh, you're on my way.
Get away. But I guess that goes with the whole like Sith persona is there.
Yeah,
I
thinking
think no
you're
matter
better. Yeah.
because if we see that with other Vaders like that, we saw that one in the Obi-Wan show. And he's walking through that scene. He's walking through the town and he's just literally like flicking people off, just snapping
like
their
does
neck.
not care.
We also see that with Premier and the Acolyte. He just
also thinks he's better, like just no regard for the life around.
I guess that's just like any villain almost, right? Think that they're better than other people because Marchion Ro does that. Thrawn thinks Thrawn does that too. He thinks he's better.
Maybe it's just a trait of the dark side, is you just kind of think you're better than everybody else.
Villains. The villain.
Bad guys. Yeah, that is kind of a typical bad guy trait.
Yeah, you do.
You do?
Right about time.
Oh, yep. Well,
our low battery.
We probably ought to go ahead and wrap it up. We've been talking for about 35 minutes anyway.
So, out of 5 stars, what do you give
our book? I think I give the book itself, like the story itself, 3, and the narration a 5.
Yeah, I think I averaged mine out to about. Well, I averaged mine to a 3.5.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but like I said, I had some issues with
some
of the Jedi and how they handled things.
It was just a little. I guess. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go for it.
For me, I think it was just a little bit forgettable. Like, if it broke and it came off, throw it away. Okay. No, it was kind of forgettable for me. There wasn't too much in the story that stood out as incredibly remarkable. There was some new information that was nice. I thought it was really interesting getting to find out that Kenobi and Obi-Wan were not the first ones to encounter Kenobi and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Kenobi and Qui-Gon were not the only ones. That little piece of information was pretty cool to find out. But overall, like, take or leave the book. I could probably leave it. I would love to have more narration. Like, he got into
our
that
August
character.
book will have Sam narrate.
Yeah. Happy about this. He just got into it so much that, like, even when I didn't really care what was happening, I found myself stopping to listen.
Yeah. So if you guys have read it, let us know what you think. Did you have some of the points that we talked about, not necessarily about the book, but like with the Jedi, especially with the Legends versus canon and how they handle things? Let us know if you feel the same or differently or have other, I guess, points of views on that.
Yeah.
Let us know. Thanks for listening. I'm fidgety, so finding the fun from our galaxy to yours.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Alright. Try that again. So just a reminder, you can join our Patreon for $3 a month. It gives you access to stickers, behind the scenes content, exclusive monthly episodes, playlists,
wallpapers for your phone.
Yep.
Yeah. Once in a while, we'll throw in extra little bonuses.
Yep.
You guys get to kind of find out what some of our upcoming episodes are that we're doing before we announce it to the public. And then in our Patreon chat, we will also ask you questions to help us build our episodes. You
guys could have input and so join our Patreon. It really, really helps support the show. That is where money for buying new equipment, paying for streaming, all of our hosting fees, all of that, the stickers that we buy for you guys, all of it comes out. So we also want to let you guys know about a Discord. Join our Discord. It's super, super full of all kinds of fun things to talk about. You can join us over there. There's no charge. You don't have to be part of the Patreon to join. That's it.
So go join all the things.
Yeah, go join all the things. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha, written and produced by Denise McKay.
Edited and produced by Rexy Jupiter. Original logo designed by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music is provided by the Galactic Empire.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at Travel and Bantha.
And join our Discord for fun-filled galaxy chats.
You can also sign up for our Patreon starting at just $3. You get exclusive episodes, merch, behind the scenes, and more.
And a special thanks to all our Jedi Knight members and higher. We have Rooney, Michael Beavers, Mark Collier, and James Peak. From our galaxy to yours,
May the Force be with you.
always.